From the ProWrestlingWire.net studios in beautiful Wallingford, Connecticut, this is Pro Wrestling Wire with host Rick Del Santo.
My name is Caster, which is spelled C-A-S-T-O-R-R. And you're tuning in to Pro Wrestling Wire.
What's going on, everybody? Rick Del Santo here. This is the Pro Wrestling Wire podcast. I'm very happy here today to have the brand new Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling United States Champion with me here today, Sgt Antonio Andolini. But that's not the only championship he holds, because he just won another one recently, just within the last 2 weeks, I believe, correct?
Yep, we're rolling.
Yeah, rolling. Who knows? He could be world champion by next week if he keeps going the way he's going. Look at that.
And technically, I am one half of the Lucky Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, which I was filling in for the great Vern Verchillo, but Vern's hurt, and they're talking about me being a replacement, but I won't know until June 6th if that's going to stick.
Got it. Look at that. You are on a roll.
Yep. Three indies, 3 belts.
So last time you were here, which was just a few months ago, we caught up with your entire history, your career. Time they met you at the Vanguard United show with was it Paradise Alley and
USWF.
Thank you. Jeez, I drew a blank there for a second. Yeah, I was a part of that show too, so I don't know how I forgot. And now that was the last time. So that was months ago. That was and now we have multiple championships to talk about. Let's talk about the unified title first, because you had to go to Brazil to compete for that title. You went on a whole trip, came back with your bag about 20 pounds heavier.
It's a big one. It's a big heavy one, that one.
Yeah, let's talk about that one a little bit. So I know that there was quite the adventure to get that title.
Yep. Around the time where we first met at that USWF Big Unified show was about the time that this whole tournament was kicking off. And there was a couple of times that the tournament was scheduled that ended up getting canceled. And then it got to the point where somehow we ended up with people from all over the world in the tournament, and the tournament took place in Brazil. I got a last-minute phone call from Doc Warren at Pure Vanguard, wanted me to be the representative for Pure Vanguard and the USWF for the title. So a couple of days later, we hopped on a plane down to Brazil and won that little mini tournament. And now we're back. We're back as unified champion.
That's awesome. And congratulations on that one. That's a big one. Go travel internationally and win a whole tournament with wrestlers from all over the world that you may not have necessarily familiar with, right?
Yes. Lots of luchadors and lots of names that I can't pronounce, nor do I want to try. Zebra Loco was in that tournament.
There you go. Who did you be for that title? Who did you be?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It was another luchador with El Fuego in there somewhere.
Got you. So let's bring it back forward a little bit to coming up most recently. You've been going back and forth for months with Sylvan for that United States Championship. And last night was your final chance at that belt, but you walked away with that title.
Yes, the battle of Sulvan Moreland has finally come to an end. Me and Sylvan have been beating the crap out of each other for the last 4 to 5 months. He took the first one with some underhanded tactics, and then I had to earn a shot back at the title, which I did against Izzy Sanchez, which was a great match. And then back to Sylvan. He had debuted his new member in the Forest of the Lost, Mr. Ryan Malice, the Knight Rider. He pulled him right before I was about to pin him. Otherwise, I'd already have the title for a month now. but they gave me the immediate rematch. And last night we finally got all the shenanigans done, and I got raised new Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling United States champion.
What's it feel like with to hold that United States championship? There's a nice long history with that Paradise Alley Championship.
Um, it's hard to describe. After we spoke the first time is when I really started to work with Paul Roma. And these last 6 months, he has basically been mentoring me. And the title means a lot to me because it's a representation of Mario Mancini and Paul Roma. This is their indie. They run it right. They run it like indies have always been run. And this is the case where you're being selected to carry the title, not just be a title holder. They put the trust into me that I can carry their title. And that is an honor that no matter what happens from this point forward, my career, as far as I'm concerned, has been made because I don't know how long I got. I could have 5 more months. I could have 15 more years. It just depends on how long my body's going to hold up. But this one right here over my right shoulder, this one really means a lot to me. It really means a lot because I think a lot of times once you get into the business and you realize how little you control over what is happening to you, it's very easy to get jaded with the whole thing. But when you're given the trust like I've just been given, it really means a whole lot from who it's coming from. And when you got guys like that telling you the things that they have told me about myself that sometimes I don't even see yet in myself. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm still at 75%. When I was rolling the first time, I was a fantastic heel. I was a fantastic heel at 20 years old. I could drive you absolutely crazy no matter where you were sitting in that arena. To do it as a baby face has been a huge change, but to now the way it's all unfolded, I just again, my career, no matter how it ends right now after last night, has been made. Has been made.
What do you think of the new member of the Forest to the Lost? Because it seems like the other guys have kind of disappeared, if you will. I haven't seen them in quite some time.
Ryan Malice is a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
Sylvan and the rivalry and the feud, and I still have to get my hands on Ryan, and I cannot wait to get my hands on Ryan because he is a fantastic wrestler, and I'm pretty sure we are going to have match of the night when me and him get in there. We have trained a lot together before he decided to go join the Force of the Lost. When he came into Paradise, he came right to the professional class with Paul. And I've basically been wrestling him every Wednesday for the last 5 months. So he's the real deal. He's a real deal. I enjoy working with him. I'm almost glad in a way that it was him that got pulled in with Sylvan because now I can get my hands on him because he's been getting involved, keeping that belt that Sylvan's been holding now. Sylvan held that belt for almost a year, if not a year. I mean, he was a dude. He was a real champion who carried the title. It doesn't matter how he kept winning. He kept winning. That was a tall test, and which is why I've given it a battle name, because that was the first real battle that I've been in since I've been back with Sulvan Moreland. Nothing but respect for Sylvan, but, it was time for a new champion.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I've heard about this Ryan Malice fella. I have yet to witness him, but I've heard great things from multiple people. Otis being one of them, yourself, and a couple others. I heard that he is really, really got it in that ring.
Yeah, he is a fantastic heel. The 3 matches that I've been on the cards with him, those are 3 bulletproof matches. Gabe, Josh, and then Gabe, Josh, what's Josh? Guzman?
Guzman, yeah.
Yeah, I want to make sure I say it.
Yeah, he was on.
And then
here.
last night, Jay Onyx. Again, I can't wait. I can't wait to get my hands on him. I'd like to finish this Force of the Lost and close that chapter. And the only way in my brain that I can close the chapter is if I get my hand on the Knight Rider Ryan Malice.
Yeah. What I forgot what I was gonna say. Jesus. I'm gonna have to edit this out now. I forgot what I was gonna say. Crying out loud. Anyways, you just mentioned Jay Onyx. You know, he's been a part of PAPW for a very long time. Probably, I know I've been going to the shows there since about 2018, 2019, and he's been there since, and he's been kind of, you know, a very big part of it, mostly as a tag team. Now he's working alley fights as a singles wrestler. He's been part of the shows as a singles wrestler. He has yet to carry a singles gold. What do you think about Jay Onyx and possibly defending the belt against him?
Well, the way you just laid that all out, I think I'm kind of worried about Jay Onyx, Rick. I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean, he's been quite
No, I'd
successful.
love to. There is a lot of talent at PAPW, and Jay
Oh,
Onyx is
absolutely.
definitely one of them. And
Yeah.
I don't think the prestige of the title, the United States title, has been there with the way Sylvan has defending it. So I would
Mm,
like to add the prestige back to it by taking on all comers, and Jay Onyx, you just made the list.
oh boy. I'd love to see that match because Jay, I think, is since I mean, I don't think to my knowledge the Haven are not still a tag team. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't get to see them that often, wherever they may roam, wherever they but I haven't seen Sean as part of a PAPW uh event in quite some time, probably some last year. But Jay's been out there doing his own thing, and I don't think it's getting enough attention, quite honestly, as others have. Not to say that he's the Genetti. I mean, that's that was all Jeremy's call when he was
Yeah.
wrestling Jay Onyx, because I think Jay Onyx has really got something that
You know, they
some
like to say that Genetti thing
yeah,
about the Rockers splitting up, but
yeah,
there is no Shawn Michaels without Marty Jannetty. It was Marty Jannetty who broke that kid into the business, who became the greatest in-ring performer.
yeah,
This is a chicken and the egg with a lot of things when it comes to pro wrestling.
yeah. I gotta say that I was a Marty Jannetty fan growing up.
Me
Shawn
too.
Michaels
I
to me, he
remember
was
when they
just
were first rolling on AWA.
yeah, yes, yes. The matches they had with Playboy Buddy Rose and Doug Summers,
Yeah.
bloody battles, the original Midnight Express over the AWA World Tag Team titles. I was an AWA guy growing up. Like when
Me,
I first discovered AWA, I was like, that in the NWA was like, it's just so realistic and so insanely good. It looked like almost like a legit competitive sport compared to watching WWF television.
it was like the difference between watching a comic book and watching a tough man competition.
Right.
But I used to be able to watch AWA when I came home from school on ESPN.
Yes.
Another thing, like ESPN, you didn't just get wrestling; you built that platform on wrestling to begin with, and then you shunned us and pushed us off into the corner like everybody likes to do. But now we're back again.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And let's see, who else do you think is on that list? Because there's a lot of great competitors that are coming out. Like I said, I just interviewed Josh Guzman last week, and I got to tell you, that kid is something else. And you know, there's probably some, rougher edges that need to be worked out. But I'm going to tell you something. That kid has got something special there too, kind of like an AJ Styles or something like that.
Josh Guzman and Deuce Stovall, I have on like that the same tier, like they are coming, and it's
Hmm.
only going to be able to hold that off for so long before the final light switch gets flipped, and then those two are going to take off completely.
Yeah, yeah. I've been surprised by Deuce Stovall more than once in a match where he is in some of the stuff that he's able to pull off for such a tall person.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the charisma that he has, the connection he has with the fans. I mean, it's insane.
Oh, and you can hear it. You can
Yeah.
hear it because I'm an old wrestler. The 5-star match means nothing to me. It's what the reaction of the crowd is. We're
Yes.
working for reactions. This is the entertainment business, and people pay to see entertaining pro wrestling. If you have to jump through tables to get them off their hands, somebody didn't teach you something correctly along the way.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
Deuce gets that reaction. Josh gets that reaction. And it's
Yeah.
only going to continue to grow the more eyeballs that they get on them.
Yeah.
And there's another one too that's brand new. That's you can already see that it's starting, and that's Danny Blaze. Danny Blaze is coming too. That kid is a sponge, and I watch him get taught things and do things in minutes, just like that. Put a body on that kid, that kid's gonna go somewhere too.
I just I got the opportunity to do commentary for I think his second match, maybe. Just about as the beginning of May, whatever the first Friday of May was. Because he worked an alley fight show, and I think it might have been his second match from my understanding. And I have to say that I was quite impressed with him and the connection he has with the fans for only being out there just a few times. You know what I mean? The how popular he was. I think it was pretty poppy, maybe that he wrestled. I could be wrong. Who?
But yes, it was.
Yeah,
He
pretty
had a good
poppy.
promo leading up to that one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, pretty poppy to me is a phenomenal performer, phenomenal wrestler. And to see these two go out there, somebody that I've never seen before, entertain the crowd, I was just blown away. And I guess I'd have to say that I was pretty lucky to be on commentary for that matchup.
Yeah, that kid's fantastic. I can't wait to see where he goes. I really can't. For a lot of these kids, it's going to be sticking with it because wrestling is full of highs and lows, and you
Mhm.
can't get too high, you can't get too low, type of thing. So when the valleys come, that's where you see a lot of guys fall by the wayside. But again, these guys are all trained by Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, and Chris Battle. Like these kids are well aware of what is going on around them. It's whether they start to put the information given and being able to apply it now to themselves.
Yeah, I think that right now the class that Roma and Mario, the guys that they have currently, newer guys, I mean, there's some really hot potential in that school right now.
Yes, and they keep coming. He keeps,
Yeah.
Brad Balor's off at NXT. Richard Holiday is probably the best guy on the indies right now, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. I mean, I don't
He's
know.
getting talked about by Cody Rhodes on his podcast and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
Holiday.
know
So,
who's better than that guy right now on the indies. I mean,
yeah.
and I mean, he's pretty much been like he hasn't had the Cardona where you have the WWE machine behind you for 19 years and then you go out on the indies and like, oh, yeah, I'm the king of the indies. Yeah, okay, Matt, well, that's nice. You just were on television for 19 years.
It
Meanwhile,
was also
this
built.
kid has built this whole thing from the ground up at PAPW.
Yep. Yeah. And it's been a while since I've seen him at PAPW, but I mean I've seen him at like BST and I went up to Gotham for in New York uh earlier in the year. He was on there, big part of that show because and I got to tell you, every time that Holiday goes out there, he's quite impressive. I mean, it's just there's something that you just can't just say, God damn, this guy's not worth it. It's nothing. Man, it's just you smile because that guy is that damn good. And every time he goes for that signature move, that is a big thing. And just for the record, I always record his matches because that signature move gets the highest views on my pages, just for the record. So I
When
make
they
sure
say
that I'm,
it factor,
yeah,
that's what that is right there. It's that kid right there.
yeah, I make sure when I see it being set up that I pull out my phone and start recording because the last time I did it from a BST show, that thing skyrocketed on every platform, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Reels. So that
Yeah, everything he puts out
Holiday,
there, he's an absolute genius.
absolutely. I think he gets it the way wrestling is these days. It's you have to have a huge social media presence. You got to be busy on social media. You're doing it. You're out there doing it,
I'm
working on
trying. I have
social
no idea
media.
what I'm doing. I'm flying without a net. I don't know anything about social media, but I'm working at it.
You got to keep cutting your promos, keep cutting your meta reels and all that stuff, Facebook reels, Instagram reels, whatever, TikToks and all that stuff. Keep posting those and that's the difference between wrestling now, wrestling 5 years ago, wrestling in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
like once COVID hit, social media became a huge part to try to keep pro wrestling alive or the indies alive because a lot of guys were just staying home during that time period.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't back yet, and
Yeah.
that's really when I started watching again. And part of it was because of COVID. Like I couldn't wait to see the boys have to work in empty buildings, and because bumping in front of 17,000 people don't hurt ever because you
Yeah.
have the adrenaline of the crowd. When you're out there with no people, like now you're back in the training gym. Sometimes this stuff hurts.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. I go down. I'm there sometimes on a Monday or Tuesday at the school hanging out with my buddies Kevin Saban and Mario Mancini.
Hmm.
Uh, so I get to watch all these guys, and I'm just like, there's no way, even in my 20s, I would be able to pull something like that off, getting in there in the ring. And at 50 years old, watching these guys, I'm like, hell no. Like, I don't know how y'all are doing it.
Oh, yeah, and yeah, just like I said, this could last another 5 months or could last another 15 years.
Let me ask you, I don't know because I was having this discussion with somebody. How old are you,
That's
Andolini?
classified. We're never going to say that on the internet, Rick. I'm a super soldier. You need to have a high top
I was
secret security clearance for that.
Wow, I was curious about that. Um, Tell me about Brad Baylor. Now, you just mentioned him, Paradise Alley guy, trained. Now, there's a big banner that they put in there,
Yeah,
home of NXT Tag Team Champion. Now, he's out there killing it on NXT, and Brad's a great guy on top of it, regardless of what he portrays on television. You
yep.
know, I've had the opportunity, I've been there for his debut. I got to witness a lot. I've had him on my podcast years ago. Of course, now I don't think I'd ever get him on, but that's the whole thing. But what do you think about you're coming from that same family, I guess you could say, at Paradise Alley
Mhm.
Pro Wrestling. What do you think of Brad Baylor?
Brad Baylor. I came in just in time with Paul. And again, this is going back to Paul. I am not a PAPW guy at this point. Like most people who work on that PAPW show have a PAPW lineage in the wrestling business. I'm one of the few people who have ever uh, come in and because Paul basically said, "You come train with me, come train with me." So finally, I came, and the first Wednesday that he knew that I was coming, he had Brad Baylor there for me, and I got
Nice.
to wrestle Brad. And again, I didn't even say anything. We worked the whole thing on the fly, and I let him call the whole thing. And that kid is absolutely amazing. And I knew because I knew he was ID'd by that point. You knew it was only a question of time before somebody turned on a video up there in Stanford somewhere and went, "We got this guy just sitting around here. Like, let's bring this guy into NXT." And this brings us almost back to the conversation we had last time at the end of the last podcast, where I was railing against what was going on with what WWE's hiring practices were up until that point. They were just bringing these kids in from college on these D1 schools and all this other bullshit instead of
Right.
coming into the indies and hiring professional wrestlers. And then it
Right.
seemed like they had a big tryout that Brad Baylor went down there to, and they hired a bunch of indie guys. And those indie guys were exactly like me and you said on that podcast. They were on TV in like 3 weeks to a month, immediately doing stuff. Brad
Yeah.
Baylor being one of them. And I mean, how long was he there before he was one half of the tag team champions?
I
That did
think
was that a month?
okay, so this is how it happened. He was part of the WWE ID program. I remember he had told me at the last show, which at the JCC in Woodbridge, Connecticut. It wasn't last year, it was the year before. It was not last November, the previous November. And I believe over the summer, last summer, his contract was the ID contract, got to be specific here, was coming to a close of some sort. But I was talking to somebody at Paradise Alley, name disclosed, that said that most likely they're going to actually sign him from the ID. Next thing you know, they announced that Evolve program that's on Tubi on Wednesday nights. Who's on the first Wednesday night, of course, is Holiday and Ricky Smokes. So then after a few months, they bring them up to NXT. Now he made a couple appearances, I guess, as run-ins, maybe something like that on NXT. Then he came in his first night as a competitor in NXT. They won the NXT tag team titles, which to me, I watched it because it was his action. I mean, I watched the Evolve program regularly because, hey, man, somebody I know is on TV. You know what I'm saying? I watch it
Yeah,
everything. Anytime somebody I know is going to be on TV, I always tune in. Especially local wrestlers that even if I just had a conversation once with them, it's like this is somebody from my area representing my
yeah,
area.
it's fantastic.
But Baylor, I had many, many conversations with over the years. Always very respectful, great kid. And when I saw him, I heard he was going to be on NXT, and then they went up there, they won the tag titles. I was very happy for him that they trusted him that like that, and it was their first night on that show, you know. And then they put the titles on him, and as of right now, I believe they are still NXT Tag Team Champions. So it's
Yeah,
been a few months, yeah,
yeah, and good for him. He
yeah,
had that a young man with all of the tools, the look,
yep,
and the microphone ability. This is
yes,
how this business used to work. It's only a question of time before you're gone.
yeah, and not many people from that original ID program, the original class of the ID program, are still there. Because once their
Oh, really?
contracts, yeah, once their contracts were up, they were back. Some of them were back on the indies. They didn't renew my deal, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. I would see online. I think Bryce Donovan was one of them that was a guy I've seen on a number of shows, and he was also a super nice guy as well. So, yeah, Brad and Ricky Smokes ended up getting up there and going to NXT, and that was it.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah,
I'm just always rooting for anybody who's coming out of the indies. Look at what Danhausen is doing right now.
dude,
Like
I got to tell
this
you,
thing
like
is
I'm not.
exploding. I
Yeah,
see Danhausen on the Knicks coverage on MSG.
well, let me tell you about that. My wife is a huge Knicks fan, and she does not know really much about wrestling unless it's watching a documentary with me. So the other night, he's on the Knicks coverage, as you said, and you're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" She said, "It's not like I haven't worn a Danhausen shirt around the house for the last like 8 years that we've been married, right? Or 10 years
Really?
we've been married, but I had a one from when he was on the Indies. It's like you already know who this guy is. The shirt was in the laundry. You washed it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing. So, and coming good for him because I'm not a comedy guy normally.
No, me neither.
Danhausen has always had something special in his delivery that made me made me become a fan on the indies. He did an indie show in Milford at one point prior. I think it was either right before COVID hit, I believe. And I got to tell you, that dude is crazy good. The people were really into him live, like seriously. And
Just
I
a
remember,
perfect example of it's a perfect example of what this industry is. It's a one of one business. That guy
yeah,
is one of a kind. And it
yeah,
doesn't even matter if your gimmick's been done before.
hmm
I am not Sergeant Slaughter, even though there's been another sergeant. I do the whole thing completely different.
yeah,
Also, Sergeant Slaughter is a sergeant like Dr. Pepper is a doctor. It didn't really happen. I did. But
yes,
Danhausen is a perfect example of a guy who was one of one, who did not quit and
yep,
kept going. Now, of course, it's because he was able to make all that merch money on the indies to keep himself
absolutely.
afloat all that time. But he did that. He did that himself. And now, where is he? In New
Yeah,
York, where most people would have thought this was never going to work. It's one of the hottest things on television right now.
yeah. I mean, his stint in AEW, I could not even say
Yeah,
that it to me it was nothing.
yeah.
They didn't utilize him the proper way. And I hate to say it, I don't want to talk bad about a wrestling company really unless they really that dumb, but they bring in guys and they don't know how to handle them, so they don't keep them on TV. That's exactly what happened with Danhausen. What's happening after what 2, 3 months of Danhausen being on WWE TV? He's on every show. Every show, he's making me laugh every time. He's doing what his thing, the feud with the Miz, I think. In the Miz, I gotta tell you, the Miz is a great, great hand in
God,
doing whatever
the best.
he is, and I think that he gets a lot of flack after being there for so long. And people, I listen to guys like Dave Meltzer, Ryan Alvarez complain about the Miz being on TV. I'm like, this dude does whatever he's asked, and you cannot have a better employee than somebody like the Miz that he will do anything that you be like. We need you to put over Danhausen. Okay,
He was
he'll
the
go out
real
there.
world guy.
Yeah,
People don't
yes,
even say that anymore. He's been doing this
no,
for so long at such a high level. There's
yeah,
there's new fans that I bet don't even know what the real world is and how he even got here. That's
yeah,
how he has turned his even own perception of him around. People don't even put the two and two together anymore. That dude's a
yeah.
pro wrestler.
Yeah, when he came in, he was still that person that he was on the Real World Road Rules, whatever the thing. He was still that person bringing that character from that show in. And I always found I never watched that kind of stuff. My wife did. I always found he was annoying. You know what I mean? And that's what he brought in here. Then over time, he started showing he is he could be the guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, good for
Absolutely.
him.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else do you have coming up? I know we're kind of off topic here, not talking
Right.
about Antonio Andolini, but it's always good to just talk professional wrestling.
Yeah, I love talking wrestling. I'll always love
Absolutely.
talking wrestling. This is why I came back to wrestling, is to be around the people that are in the wrestling business.
Absolutely. I've if my old lazy ass was able to get out of the house more often, I'd probably be around more wrestling shows. And that's the plan this summer is to get out there more as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, me too. I'd love to get out there more too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope so. And who knows, you may see me pop up at a Vanguard show again here and there. So
Oh, excellent. Yeah, the next one's coming on the 13th.
the 13th. Okay.
I will be making my first USWF Pure Vanguard Unified Heavyweight Championship title defense.
That's a mouthful right there.
I don't know if I should announce it here because I don't think it's been announced yet, but I do know my opponent.
Oh, you don't want to give us any news, I guess. You can't say it.
I get, you know what? I think this is the kind of thing where I think I can get away with this kind of stuff. I mean,
All
I
right.
am the champ, right? I can break news
You are
somewhere,
the
right?
champ. Yeah, you're allowed to break news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they're going to be, they're not messing around, and they're giving me, a former PAPW heavyweight champion. He may have been in the main event of last night's PAPW heavyweight championship match.
You're going to be meeting Troy Stevens?
Troy Stevens and
That's
Antonio
interesting.
Andolini will be the
Oh,
first match stateside for the unified heavyweight championship.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
I told Doc I want the best of the best, and they got me a former champion right off the bat. So, Troy,
Oh,
you're up. You're the first one to
uh,
eat this grenade, brother.
I'm sorry. That's a good line right there.
You're the first one. Don't worry. Inaugural means first. You get the first grenade stateside.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. He is a former. I believe he held that title twice, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, before you were around. Um,
Yep.
and I actually was there and did commentary on the main event from when he lost the title. No, was it him? Trying to remember if it was he lost it to Showtime or Showtime lost it to him. Oh, he defeated Showtime, if I remember correctly, because then he lost it to uh
Great Chris Battle, I believe, right?
God damn, man, my memory is fried. My
Right, is
brain's
that
fried.
correct? I think so.
Yeah.
Because then Alan Compass beat the Great Chris
Battle.
Battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chris Battle, let's talk about that guy. This dude, he's a phenomenal professional wrestler. Chris Battle. I don't think that his name gets brought up enough. And I
Nope.
just want to give a shout to Chris Battle. If you ever go back on YouTube and watch him against Brian Danielson, I think your jaw would drop. Seriously.
I had the pleasure to the Chris Battle win is what brought me into title contention at PAPW. And
Okay.
I told him after that match was over that that was the biggest win of my career, and I meant it. And it was at that point up until probably last night when I finally won the title. But yeah, that's what I always imagine pro wrestling was, that I was in when I was a kid, were guys like Chris Battle, big,
Yes.
huge men who, if you weren't ready to roll, you were gonna get your ass kicked. And
Yeah.
again, it was an absolute honor to wrestle him and to get the victory over him. Um, I can't say enough good things about Chris Battle, and I know he has a lot to do with some of these kids that are coming through on Wednesday nights. They got to go through Chris Battle on Monday and Tuesday over there at PAPW before they can even get to Paul.
Yeah. And I don't, I don't think he maybe he doesn't get enough spotlight these days. Like I don't think he comes out and wrestles as much, uh it seems like, right?
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. Every time I've seen him wrestle, I've been purely impressed. Him against Flash Waller, Dustin
Yeah.
Waller. I have pictures and video I took of that when that happened. I was sitting exactly in the corner at the ring, supposed to do commentary, but there were technical difficulties. So I believe that I was just sat there and just told the film on my phone because I believe that there was a camera issue. And I got to tell you that there was weapons, trash cans, all that kind of stuff galore. And it was a phenomenal match. Go up on YouTube and watch it if you
I'm
anybody
definitely
out.
going to. And the Danielson one I know that
Yeah.
those kids call him the professor, and that's a name that doesn't get thrown around too much in wrestling. And when it does, you have to, and it's very well deserved. It's very
Yeah.
well deserved. That guy's got technique on top of technique on top of technique.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything else that you'd like to throw out there? Anything else coming up? I know you said you got Vanguard June 13th, right? Correct?
Before that, we'll find out if I'm still one half of the Lucky Pro Tag Team Champions up in Lemonminster, Massachusetts for Lucky Pro Wrestling. And
Okay.
then June 20th will be the next Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling show. Will be the first United States title defense. And if I have my way, it will be against the Knight Rider, Ryan Males.
Well, that should be an interesting matchup. Yeah, I think so, because I'd like to see that one. We got to get you on an Alley Fights episode. So that's one
I would
thing
love
that,
to get on an Alley Fights episode. Yeah.
I know a guy. Let me put in a word. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, it's
'cause
all under the PAPW umbrella, isn't it?
well, yeah. It's like their NXT, so to speak.
Yeah.
So,
No, there's a
and
lot of good things happening on there on them Alley Fights.
yeah, and they bring in a lot of different guys that don't get featured
Yeah.
on regular PAPW events. So, some of the contested strength guys come in and such. So, and guys from elsewhere, some guys from New York. So it's always a fun time. And, who knows? I'd like to get behind the microphone when you're in the ring again sometime because it's been a while.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
wonderful, Rick. I really appreciate you having me on.
Of course, we got to do this again and probably again. And as you gather more championships, we're going to have you
I can't
again.
guarantee that. I can't. And people ask me, like, is this normal? Like, nope, no, this is
It's
not how
definitely
this normally goes. The first time around, I think I'm like 0-24. I didn't even win until I came back. I don't know what's happening right now. Maybe this babyface thing is a good idea. Now that I
maybe.
really think about it, I win way more as a babyface.
There you go. There you go. You got the fans behind you. That's what it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, the red, white, and blue also helps, right?
at
Also,
100%.
being the Pat Tillman of professional wrestling isn't too bad either.
There you go. You go. Andolini, Mr. Sergeant Andolini, I want to say thank you again, and we'll definitely have you on again.
Rick, looking forward to it, brother.